We are live.
Hi.
Let's move the camera a little bit to... Luke was making fun of me tapping my cup.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
What are we talking about today, babe?
Ultimatums.
If you don't tell me what we're talking about, it's over.
Yeah, interesting topic. Yeah, it's okay with your coffees, actually. It's just with the bowl that it's a bit too much sometimes.
Would there be anything like that irritates you about me that, like, if you don't stop doing it?
Like to end the marriage?
Yeah.
Pff, no, of course not. That's dumb.
Yeah, because I can't think of anything, really. It's kind of, it would have came out. Clink, clink, yes, yes. Oh, cool. Sound and visuals, good. Figured out why I was... Because last week, your microphone was very hot.
Yeah, very...
It was peaking. And I wondered why on my other main channel, I wasn't, because I dialed in, I had a limiter. Most people don't know what that is. Whereas on this channel, on this stream, I don't. I forgot to put it on. So now everything should be fine. No matter how loud you speak or how soft, it should all be nice and smooth.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we actually thought of this topic because I went through some of his old videos. And then I found the one about ultimatums. And I thought, oh yeah, that might be an interesting topic to talk about. Ultimatums.
I think initially you were looking at a video of All or Nothing Love, and then from that there were associated ones.
Yeah, initially I was looking for the video that years ago got me to write him, and which got us married in the end. But it's kind of funny because I looked at the video again, and what he was talking about is actually something different from what I got from the video and what I wrote him about. So that's kind of funny.
Yeah, my take was in the video that I was frustrated with a woman wanting more and more and more, and it never being enough, and you feel like you're emptied out, and nothing you ever do is good enough or enough.
Yeah.
And you were talking about more, it was related, but you were talking more about, am I able to offer as much as I should? Can I ever have a relationship because I feel like I can never give enough, or I don't think I'm built to give as much as guys expect in a relationship?
Yeah, basically, do you think I'll ever be able to have a successful relationship if I'm not able to give like 100% of myself? Not because I'm not capable of doing that, but because like when you're not compatible, then you can't give 100% of yourself, I feel like.
That can't be understated, actually, because I feel like with each other we give 100%, but the term is a bit misleading. It's that we're 100% ourselves, and there's never any effort. And I don't need to provide effort to you. Like, I don't...
Yeah, but there we're also talking about something else there. You're talking about effort. I'm talking about everything inside of me. Like, I can't share 100% of who I am as a person with you. I'm not talking about effort. See, so we were talking about two different things, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. And it almost be like, say, if I really needed you to share these parts of yourself that you don't naturally share, or that don't come out of you naturally, and you have to force them out all the time, but I need them all the time.
Well, if someone needs them, then that's good. But like sometimes when you're not compatible, you've got like sides of yourself that you wouldn't automatically just share. Like, some sides of myself that I can't like tell people about at a dinner table. They're very personal and private. But with you, I can tell you everything, every fucked up thought that I have, everything.
But that's what I mean about giving 100% of yourself. Before, I could never do it because I was never compatible with someone, and it felt like work. And I tried politely to give everything a boyfriend should give in my way, and feel like, aren't I doing my job? Isn't this enough? Why are you always upset? How much more can I give? but it's not the quantity, it's actually the quality. When you're not compatible, it doesn't matter how much you give if you're not two compatible people. And you feel like, well, I can't give anymore. I'm exhausted. I need time away from you. I can only give you 50 or 60% at most, and then stop being greedy. Give me my time to myself. I need to have my things here and there.
Yeah, but that kind of answers the question that I was asking, because I feel like if your partner wants something from you that you can't give, and that was the case in one of my relationships as well, then it's just not going to work. Then you can't give 100% of yourself also, I feel like. Yeah.
Peg summarized it in the nutshell. She said you can never be the right person for the wrong person. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw in your thumbnail, that's your I-30 or your Veloster, I think. She had a car similar to mine.
Oh, yeah?
A 2-door. She sold it. Edwin says ultimatums are a last-ditch move and usually backfire. Stephanie's looking exceptionally lovely tonight.
Thank you. This is actually one of my nicest dresses, so maybe that's why.
Yeah, you've got a lot of nice dresses.
Thank you, Edwin. That's nice of you.
Okay, so an ultimatum. The Collins Dictionary, let's just define it quickly, get out of the way. People usually know what it intuitively means. Collins says an ultimatum is a warning to someone that unless they act in a particular way, action will be taken against them. Cambridge expands on this. I like Cambridge's one, where it says a threat in which a person or group of people are warned that if they do not do a particular thing, something unpleasant will happen to them. It is usually the last and most extreme in a series of actions taken to bring about a particular result. We talked about this, when we'll get to this later, when an ultimatum's kind of justified, is then when you try, and this is the last ditch thing that I can't do this anymore. We've talked about it. I need this. I'm prepared to burn a bridge if this doesn't happen. And you know how important this is, whatever it is, So I think ultimatums where you've tried enough and you just can't do it anymore. You have no more fuel in the tank.
Yeah, but even then it still depends on the situation, because I don't think you can always set an ultimatum for someone.
What do you mean? Sometimes it's bad enough that you just need to realize they're not going to be the person or change in the way that you want.
I mean, ultimatums, I think you can only set them in very rare occasions where there's something very obvious and extreme. But I think most ultimatums kind of happen without actually using that word. Like, it happens more naturally, I think. Like, it's not really an ultimatum, but like, I'll give one example that I gave you yesterday as well. Like, one of my exes, after a while, he stopped showing me any affection, really. And then I just talked about that with him a few times, and he said he was going to work on it more. And then he didn't change anything, and then we just both decided to break up because it obviously wasn't working. And like, I didn't give him an ultimatum or anything like that, but you just kind of see that something isn't working. You try to work on it together. Or, well, I guess he didn't really work on it. And then you either end it or not, So I think that's kind of what happens most of the time, where people don't explicitly say, I'm giving you an ultimatum, but they just make it clear that you need to improve this behavior, like it's not working. And then you kind of see where that goes. I think that's what happens most of the time. Yeah.
Especially if your partner's telling you or you see the results of it. You disappoint your partner. You can see that it causes you do something that you're aware of, that you're both aware of, that causes your relationship to be distant, to be sad, to be disappointing. And you both talk about it, but you don't ever do anything about it. And you're at fault or something needs to be done,
Yeah, so I think actual ultimatums where you use the word, I think those are maybe kind of rare. It happens naturally most of the time, I think.
But I think you do need to communicate them. You can't be frustrated, silent, and just boil under the surface in relation to your partner?
No, but not giving explicit ultimatums, as in using the words "I'm giving you an ultimatum," doesn't mean that you don't talk about it. Like, of course, you talk about it and everything. But I'm just talking about like explicitly using that word, the ultimatum, and giving that to someone. I think that is probably more rare than it happens more naturally most of the time, I think.
I think a lot of people don't, because you're taking a stand and you're being responsible for something you said as a final stand, an ultimatum, and you can't pretend it's not. I think that's why a lot of people stay silent, and they say, well, my partner should know. They know I get annoyed. They know I get pissed off. They can feel the vibe. But if you actually give an ultimatum or say, you need to change this, like we've been going through this, like you say, you've got to change year after year after year, you need to do it soon. Otherwise, I don't know if I can go on anymore. You know, there's no set time, but a person's giving you an ultimatum without saying the words, and it's serious. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know?
No, of course not. That happens most of the time, I think.
But I think when there's like the vibe, and you don't talk, I think a lot of people do that. And then they blame the other person. Well, they should know. Obviously, we're always fighting. What did they think was happening?
Yeah, but that's something else. And that's obviously on those people. Like if there are problems and you don't talk about it, then that's obviously on you as well. So don't even start with that.
It's a Kona. That's right.
I love the name Kona.
That's the ones like my car, but they're like a mini SUV. Yeah, nice. Okay. So that you're talking about implied ultimatums versus implicit ones, like direct ultimatums.
Yeah, I think that it happens more naturally than people actually giving someone an ultimatum, I think. Yeah. Yeah. So when are ultimatums actually justified? I think that's an interesting question. And I think that's probably, I wouldn't say there are many situations in which I think they're actually justified and not manipulative or childish. Because I'm thinking now, even with marriage or kids, I don't think you should give someone an ultimatum for that, because then you're still forcing them, you know?
Yeah. But I do think you should talk about it seriously and let them know how exasperated you are.
Yeah, but just pointing out that I think that you keep coming back to whenever I talk about explicitly talking about giving someone an ultimatum or not, then you say, you take from that no one's talking about everything. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just talking about people not explicitly giving someone an ultimatum doesn't mean that they're not also talking about the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't kind of be like, well, this is important to me. It's my way or the highway.
Yeah, I just think it doesn't really work with marriage. You see that a lot with women pressuring men into marriage, but then it's not his decision. You might say, you have to marry me within 2 years or I'll leave. And then if he says yes, like you pressured him into it, he may not have wanted that. He's maybe only doing it because he's afraid to lose you. Same thing with kids. So I think with marriage and kids and those kind of things, it's not really healthy to set an ultimatum for that.
I had that with me, with two of my exes, particularly one. I remember the conversation in the car where we'd been dating for a year and a half or something, and we weren't even moved in together. And she was like, well, if I don't at least have a ring, if you don't show me this is serious, where is this going within a year? Why am I even here? You know, what is this? What's going on in this relationship? You know?
Yeah.
So it's basically saying, like, if I don't wife her up in a year, pressure's on, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I think there is a difference between setting an ultimatum and just talking about things. Because I did have in one of my relationships when I just brought up marriage just to ask how he thought about that. And if he could ever see us getting married, like just to open the conversation. He refused to talk about it at all. And then because that was just kind of awkward, that kind of led to us both realizing that we probably shouldn't continue on together. You know, so just having a conversation can also be kind of enlightening for both of you. You know, to just let you know how you think about each other and how you think about the future. So it doesn't even have to be an ultimatum. You can just talking about something can sometimes be very clarifying.
True. That's a tricky one, though. I think it's not clear cut because as you're getting to know someone in those initial phases, you need to reach a point where you really see them for who they are and you really see that they're very compatible with you. You can trust them. But if someone broaches the topic of marriage before that, you have a lot of sensible walls up just for self-protection. Like, you know, I'm getting to know you, and then you jump ahead with like, well, what do you think about marriage? And now it's like, well, my guards go up. And so that could be a tricky one. Because with me, I remember in the past, whether or not I was actually ready for that conversation, or maybe I wasn't ready for anyone at that time in my life because I had a lot of stuff I needed to work through, a lot of fears and anxieties and knowing what I want. Anyone who just wanted to talk about it, I would have put my walls up.
Yeah, see, I don't get that. I don't see why it's a problem for everyone to just say where they're at and how they feel about certain things, and then you know where you stand.
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well. For good or ill.
Yeah, but I think ultimatums, like the only time when they're good is when there's like a very obvious or extreme situation. Like if your partner used to be an alcoholic and now he started drinking again, you know, but you want to be with him and support him, but he keeps like messing up and you're like, this is messing up both of our lives and our future. Like, I'm not going to like keep putting up with this and ruin my own life in the process. That's where an ultimatum would be good. You know, like, I want you to go to rehab and do this. And, you know, for us.
Yeah, it's not really an ultimatum. It's like, well, you need to take a step. We need to do this next. We can't keep circling these same disappointments and same bad feelings and negativity. Like, all right, we need to do something. We need to, you, me, both, one of us, like, you need to mow the lawn. You need to go counsel. We need to go shopping. There's no food. Like, action needs to be taken. Not necessarily do what I want or it's over. I think they're childish ultimatums. You see a lot of those online. But I think action, like talking about action that needs to be taken.
Yeah, but that's why I say I think it only works with very obviously extreme situations where, let's say you're like, you've been an alcoholic and you go back to drinking, and I'm like I want to support you and help you, but you keep messing it up. And then I'm like, I also need to think about my own future. Like, I'm not going to put up with this and then this being the rest of our lives, you know? So in that case, I think an ultimatum is good. But obviously, if you say to me, if you don't do the dishes within 5 minutes after dinner every day, then I'm going to leave you. Like, that's a dumb ultimatum. Like chores and stuff, that's dumb. Yeah. That kind of stuff. But like something serious, that's where an ultimatum does make sense, I think.
Yeah, I think this is where a lot of childish videos online fall apart. They act very tough. And they give examples like that. Well, my partner didn't do A, B, and C, and then like I showed them the door. And everyone online pats them on the back. Oh my God, what a queen, what a king. They didn't take any shit. But it's like ridiculous. It's not something about their character, who they are. They didn't betray you. It's not, like you said, an addiction that's tearing you apart. That you went into a relationship or marriage both wanting kids and family and marriage. You move in together and then the other person's dragging their feet, and you could tell they never wanted marriage. They never wanted kids. Yet you never would have gone to the next step because you really wanted it if you knew that they weren't serious, you know? So it's like, hang on a minute. We talked about this. We were going to do this when we moved in, or we were going to have kids or whatever. Where's this coming from? Yeah,
but see, even then, I don't think you should set an ultimatum. If you both decided to have kids and then 5 years later he changes his mind, you can't put an ultimatum.
Yeah.
What, are you going to force him? He doesn't want it. Or maybe he's going to say he does, but you're never going to trust if that's actually true.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's simple. It's obvious. It's that you are asking them to make a decision you should be making. if you talk and nothing's ever changing, it's up to you to leave. You don't need to give an ultimatum. Like if nothing ever changes and you say like, I can't do this anymore, I can't do this, like I don't want to leave.
Oh, that's actually a really good sentence. That you're forcing him to make a decision you should be making. That's
Yeah.
a good one. Yeah.
That's what I just realized. Like ultimatums are like, you are too chicken shit to either be talking and saying, I can't do this anymore. I can't be in this relationship if you continue to break promises or do this, or it's tearing us apart and whatever, rather than you saying, I can't do it anymore. I'm leaving. Just make a stand and say, I'm leaving. He will make his own ultimatum and go, I'll change. I'll do it, babe. You don't have to tell him. Because if you force him, like the women who force a guy to marry them, the ones like, marry me or else, where's this relationship going if I'm not like my exes? And then when you marry them, they act all surprised. And then if it doesn't work out, they'll blame, well, you wanted it. Take responsibility. You forced him into it. You said, do it or else. I want you to do this or else. Then you can't blame him for how things turn out afterwards.
Yeah. And I think it's probably a lot of men who get trapped in situations like that because they're like, I've got this great woman. I'm never going to find a woman like her anymore. Because it's harder for men to find women than the other way around.
A lot of guys and girls, they just put their own foot in their mouth. They kind of go too fast. They don't realize they might have the best person in front of them, but they're so impatient, or they've got skeletons in the closet that they haven't dealt with. And it's kind of like they want to go so fast that they ruin a relationship. It's like, no, well, I don't want to waste my time. I've been dating, and this person might be the best person you've ever met. They're very compatible, but you are just, suffocating them so much that they don't have time to catch up to you. And you're going so fast because you're impatient and worried that they're going to leave you, or the biological clock is ticking and you want to have kids, and, you can ruin something. And then you put ultimatums on them.
I do want to say, on the other side, if you flip it around, it can be really like a shit thing to do. Like if you have talked about having kids and then you're together for like 5 years and then all of a sudden he changes his mind or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, then we're going to break up. But now like 5 years we've been together and I've been putting effort into this relationship thinking we were going to be together forever, raise a family. That is really shitty though. That's the other side of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are just kind of scared of failure, and they've got something that's good enough or good. I watched a little clip of Alex Hormozy, and he was talking basically about he was talking to guys, but it could be applied to women as well. A lot of people have plans. Like, I want to start a business, I want to get to here, and then I want to have a family. It's great to prepare, but he sort of said, if you have a partner that when they met you, they love you, they believe in everything you're doing, and they believe in everything where you want to go. So they believe in you now and they believe in your future. And he said, just marry them, commit. But if you're like, well, no, pause there, and later on we'll have kids. But then when you get to later on, you may not want kids. Like, you should make the sensible decision of where you are and where you both want to go. But not, because I've got an old friend who did that. He thought that he could organize his life. Like he had one or two good women in his life, but at one point he was, getting a certain degree or certificate in university that took a lot of years. Yeah. And then he's like, until I do that, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this. I'm getting off topic here, but
I do think that if you've already met someone and then you're like, no, let me put this on hold, we'll do it later maybe. Mm-hmm. That's not actually the one for you, probably. Because if you meet someone that's like the one for you, you're not going to put that on hold.
But that's why I say sometimes where you are in life, you haven't dealt with a lot of your shit. Because a lot of people, they'll get to midlife and they'll think, that person in my 20s, that was the one for me. That was the guy or girl. And I was just too stupid to move in with her or like marry her or whatever. I thought that I could perfect life and get to a certain stage and everything will be perfect. But you should have just committed. If they like where you are, and they like your head where you want to go and they're on the same page with you, who cares? You'll both go in that direction and you'll figure it out. But you're like, no, I'm going to 100% focus on my business. I can't focus on you. Well, that person, if they want to be with you, they're not going to wait around.
Yeah, but that is kind of like you can't have both.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think, because sometimes the most successful people, like they have to put so much effort in. Like if they had put their effort more into a relationship, then they probably wouldn't be where they are today. So that is kind of like... Yeah,
that's true. Again, just take responsibility for what you chose. But back to ultimatums, I think they're not justified, like you said, as an ultimatum, but communicating to someone what's important and that I am going to have to take action if you don't. Mm-hmm. I'm not forcing you. I'm not telling you to do it for me, but this is tearing us apart and I can't live this way anymore.
Yeah.
And I will try, but you have to do something. So you don't put it on them to change. Say, I'm going to take action if something doesn't change.
Yeah, and I think that's probably implicit in most relationships.
You have to talk about it. I think most people don't.
Yeah, okay, but that's...
on them.
That's like their problem. Yeah, but you know what I find so weird? They say that people are kind of selfish, right? Like everyone's kind of selfish. They think of themselves. But then when it comes to relationships, they can't be selfish. And they get stuck in all this shit that they don't want. Instead of just, I don't get it. Like, you know what you want and what you don't want. So then just say no to the things you don't want and say yes to the things you want. I don't get...
You like being responsible and in control. Most people, they want other people to be responsible for the relationship and for everything and to be perfect. I see it online with the manosphere. You see it online with the feminists and all that. It's like, I want a man who's this, and this. And you look at them and they're nothing. But they want a perfect guy. There's all these criteria. And so I think people put ultimatums. They want the other person to take responsibility for everything they want in a relationship. They're scared to take responsibility. Like you said, you should just say what you want. But people don't, because then you have to be responsible for what you say you want. You see people fumbling around at the start of they date. So what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? So where is this guy? Like, oh, let's just vibe. Let's not talk seriously. No one wants to plant a flag and say, this is what I want. I want to go here. I'm writing a book. This is my life. This is who I am. Do you want to be with me? People are vague. I don't know. I do a bit of this, a bit of that. Everyone likes to be vague to feel the other person out.
Yeah, but even with all of that crap, right? I don't get, because I'm in a relationship as long as I'm having a good time and we're both having a good time. As soon as that changes, we go into the next phase of we try to work on it and see if we can fix it, improve it. If that's not working, we go our separate ways. That's it. I don't understand all these people staying in these relationships when they're not happy with it. Whether they're working on it or not. I don't get that. Aren't you like, you need to selfishly think about, this is my time. I only live once. I'm wasting my time. I don't get people staying in those relationships. I just don't get it.
I know. That's what I love about your clarity, babe. But a lot of people, I think the initial phase, they meet someone they find attractive. They're blown away. They might be different to others. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to scare them away. And so I'll be vague. I don't want to say something that clearly shows who I am, and they might not like it, and they might say, well, sorry, that part of you is not for me. It's a deal breaker. Nice knowing you.
Yeah, but even with all that crap, that's what I meant. Even if you're not being honest, you're giving ultimatums, whatever, all the crap that you're doing, life, yeah. Not being honest, whatever. Still, if you're not happy in your relationship, then why would you stay? I don't understand that. You're wasting your time. You could be doing other stuff, meeting other people.
People just see being with someone. They defer to the other person more than they look at themselves. People don't connect with that selfish part of them in a healthy way where you're saying, well, the only healthy way I can be in a relationship is to be myself and tell people exactly who I am and what I want. But a lot of people are very grateful to be with somebody, have the company of someone. They want someone to love them, that they will keep quiet. They will rather waste their own time hoping that the relationship... You see the cliches, like the woman tries to change the guy. Like you're saying, accept him for who he is, talk about what you do and don't like if you need each other to change and compromise for each other. But if you're both staying silent and you're wasting each other's time by fighting, I don't get it either. But a lot of people do that because people feel good being the victim as well. Oh my God, my husband, you should see how dumb he is. Like, he frustrates the hell out of me. My kids, they annoy the hell out of me. It's like, instead of being annoyed, confront, fix the situation, be happy in your relationship with your kids, with your husband, with your job, with everything, but stop staying silent, playing games, never being happy, and your only victory is to bitch and moan and complain as a victim.
But I think that's what is the disconnect between me and those people, probably, that I'm just different than them. And I think their personalities and not being honest and upfront and everything, that just makes everything more complex. I don't know. I'm not like that. So to me, it's very clear cut and simple. Yeah. So I don't know. Luke thinks it's a good topic for next week, maybe.
Which one?
The one we're talking about now, I guess. Which I agree with. Like, I get so fired up about this stuff because I'm like...
Let me write it down before I forget.
Yeah.
So I always do.
That's why I always say it's on you. That's become like my slogan. But it is true, though. I mean... I don't know. I just don't like wasting my time.
Come on, talk, babe. I'm writing. You need to carry this conversation.
I'm currently addicted to purple Fanta.
Grape Fanta?
Grape Fanta. I can't bring myself to say Fanta. I know that's the English way of saying it, but... Because in Holland we say Fanta, obviously. Yeah.
Okay. What are ridiculous ultimatums? What have you heard?
I think the ones about marriage and kids are maybe not ridiculous, but not smart. Yeah, because I've seen the series, The Ultimatum. I swear, it's all couples that go to that show that have no business even getting married to each other, right?
Let alone even being together.
Yeah. And it's just, and then in the end, some of them get married and it's just one big joke. Like, if you even come to that show, that already tells me you've got so many issues you need to work through first before you can even start thinking about marriage. Yeah, so it's just weird.
Like I'm okay with an individual going to therapy because the voice in your head, you can't really control the voice in your head. Sometimes you've got a really bad voice in your head and you can't negotiate. Like, you're on your own, and all the relationship with your head, you can't help if it's bad. It's very, very hard. But a relationship with someone else, if you won't talk and you fight and you're incompatible, how can a third party, a stranger, sitting in front of them on a couch in the therapist's office, and they tell you a few things from a book, or they'll give you some insight, and you'll be like, oh my God, you're right. I never thought of that. I love you. Like, I see you completely differently. I'm sure it happens, but how can a complete stranger give you so much insight? You're tearing each other apart. You don't love each other. You're not compatible. And a third party stranger can give you a better conversation than you should be able to have between the two of you. I find that really odd.
Yeah, but I do think that can help sometimes. I think it's more like the therapist, if it's a good one, it acts like a mirror. And it challenges you to think about and talk about how you feel and what you think and the things that you say. And
maybe help the both of you calm down when you normally like go from 0 to 100 and get volatile. They can, cut it out. They can help you calm it down.
Yeah, it can really help to have an objective person.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I get it.
Help you, yeah.
But,
if it's a good one, though.
But I'm kind of like you, where if I need to go to the point of going to therapy and you and I can't talk this through, we've got big problems.
Yeah. I don't think, like, Yeah, I don't know. For us, I don't see us ever going to therapy.
No.
But like maybe like for me individually about a certain something that I struggle with, like that I can see.
Yeah, like a personal anxiety or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had the one marry me or else, or if I'm not married by a certain time, then I'm out of here. When I hear people saying, give me a child, or their relationship's terrible and they think if we have a child, it'll fix it. But ultimatum, I think just any ultimatum, just the sound of it, like it's being blackmailed. That's what an ultimatum is.
Yeah.
It's blackmail. Like I'm holding you hostage. If you don't do it, something bad's going to happen to you.
That's why I think they don't go over well most of the time. You need to have a really good and obvious reason to give someone an ultimatum, I think.
I'm like you. My back goes up. Like I get very like, yeah, you want to fight? Let's fight.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It can also really backfire. You know, like if someone gives you an ultimatum and you just become offended, like the fuck. Like,
and I think a lot of people give ultimatums in a gaslighting way. They don't mean it, but they want to threaten. But they don't realize when you give an ultimatum, you're making a statement, and now it's either going to go one way or another. A person may not back down. I remember a few times where I'd have an argument with an ex, and they were like, well, if you don't like it, leave. Why don't you just leave? And I'm like, all right. And I grab my bag or something, and I'm about to walk out the door, and she runs and she closes and blocks the door. And one ex was like, I can't believe you were about to leave. That's what I mean. Like a lot of ultimatums are toothless. They're meant as threats. They're meant as gaslighting, and they don't really think about what they're doing.
Yeah, that kind of stuff wouldn't go over well with me. Like I've never gotten an ultimatum, but one thing that comes close to it maybe a little bit is that was with my latest relationship, where he basically wanted me to be more spontaneous and organize things for us. And I'm a hermit. Like I'm not really like that at all. And so that just kind of made it, that was just another reason why I knew like it wasn't going to work out. But it wasn't like an ultimatum or anything, but that was just kind of something that was a little bit like it maybe. But,
well, sometimes they're gifts. When someone gives you an ultimatum that really sticks out to you going, you don't get upset, but it makes you think, well, okay, this is clear as mud. Like we're not meant to be together. Like there's no way I can give them what they want.
No, you know, I think ultimatums only maybe work when the person receiving the ultimatum expected it. Like it's not a surprise that my partner is giving me this ultimatum because I know that this is something that I'm doing wrong. That's a good case where you can give an ultimatum. But if it's like a surprise and you're like, what? I feel like that doesn't go over well, probably.
Yeah. Generally, I think we both agree that all ultimatums are stupid and ridiculous because they're essentially blackmail.
But you know what else is not good then? If your partner gives you an ultimatum and you're like, the fuck, you get offended. But then instead of leaving, you get wrapped up in the drama. Oh, you're telling me to do this, and what about you? And you always do this, and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's, like, on you again, then. Like,
yeah, you play the same games. Like, your partner gives you an ultimatum, and you're like, yeah, okay, now I'm going to give you something. You're frustrating me, I'm going to frustrate you.
Yeah.
And you're both in, like, a boxing ring, just giving each other, like, see who's... It's almost like, who's going to win?
Yeah, but you know why it's a waste of time? Because if someone gives you, like, some kind of manipulative or petty ultimatum, that says so much about what kind of person that is. And that you have no business being with that person anyway. So get your stuff and leave. Why even stay in that situation and waste your time? And that's what I mean. If you stay then, like, that's on you also.
You know where it's silly as well? You're trying to win instead of be happy. Like, I just want to be happy with my partner, right? But if I'm there like, no, it's going to be my way. If you love me, you do everything I want. Like, no. You hear a lot about this, like, well, if your husband loves you, he'll do this, or he should do this.
Yeah, but it also means, I feel like I'm talking a lot today.
Oh, you should. I talk too much.
It also means if someone gives you like a petty ultimatum or it's about something that really isn't a big deal, that says so much about the quality of the relationship as well. Imagine if the way that you eat, right, with your spoon against the plate, that annoys me sometimes a little bit, right? Imagine if I was like, babe, if you don't stop doing that, I'm leaving you. Can you imagine? That's not about the thing. There's already something really wrong in our marriage. If I say that, and you're going to be like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
If that's the reason you're going to leave me, it has nothing to do with that spoon and that bowl. There's way more wrong here.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
In fact, if your partner comes out and says, if you don't do this, it's over.
Yeah.
That automatically, I think it shatters all the trust. Because I think the way it should be with you and I can't think of anything that would, if you changed into somebody else and you started doing things then, but given the reality of who you are, how we talk, how we know each other, I can't think of any scenario where one of us would be like, well, if this doesn't change, you know, I'm out of here. I can't live this way anymore. So as soon as that someone gives that kind of ultimatum, like there's something really big and wrong in the relationship.
Yeah. Only if it's something really important.
Because if it's not a conversation of like, this is important, I can't do this anymore, we need to work on it. If it's just like, well, change or I'm out. It's basically a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. And you don't know if you can do it. Because if you haven't been able to do it now, you know, it's different. Again, if it's something small you can do it. But then again, you probably don't want to stay in the marriage or relationship. So say, for instance, you've never hung a picture up on the wall and your wife really wants it, it's important to her. And it's like, yeah, I'll get around to it. He's just kind of lazy or something. And then you're like, that's it, I'm out of here. I can't stand, you know. You read more into it than what it is. And then you find, okay, don't leave. I'll put it up. He puts it up. But then now he thinks, fuck, she was going to leave because of that.
Yeah.
And then your ultimatum actually says something.
Yeah.
The quality of your ultimatum is either so petty or so against his own values or the way he sees the world. Like, for instance, you and I have our faults, right? But sometimes they're laughable, like me tapping my spoon and stuff. They're annoying or whatever. But if someone reacts in a way like, that's it, I'm out of here, like, whoa, where'd this come from? I didn't think this would be a deal breaker of our marriage. I thought cheating or, you know, an addiction to some substance or something huge. But like, I don't know who you are anymore if this is your decision.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you need to be very careful giving an ultimatum to someone because it says a lot about the type of person you are and how you feel about the relationship. And once you give your ultimatum, you can't take it back.
Yeah.
And now that other person is going to...
You know what I feel like online? You know how a lot of the popular videos are about like a woman or a guy who took abuse. I took it. I kept my mouth shut. I took it. I was a nice person. And then one day I was empowered and I just walked out the door. And there's like this music. It's like a movie. It's like, yeah, you go sister, you go brother. It's like I couldn't take it anymore and I just left. I let him know what I thought and I just walked out the door and everyone gives them high fives. It's like, why did you stay silent and then just like escape out of prison? Why were you in prison? Like everyone loves making videos and talking about, I broke out of prison. Why were you in prison in the first place? Why did you shut up? Why didn't you talk? Why weren't the doors open and you could have left any time? Why didn't you speak? I think everyone doesn't want to admit that they're cowards and they should have talked earlier. They should have left earlier. I think that's the point. Ultimatums and these kind of everything is okay or no one thinks there's anything wrong or everyone's tolerating something and then one person just snaps and leaves. That's not a victory. That's something weird. You shouldn't have been together. You should have talked. It should be gradual and then you leave if something makes you leave. It shouldn't be 0, 0, 0, 100. I'm out the door.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know.
weird to me. I don't know what people are talking about. PS5, PlayStation, whatever. All right. So.
Oh, like it's me or the PS4. Yeah. Oh, I've seen videos of women so petty. They delete all the memory on their boyfriend's PlayStation or whatever. And then the boyfriend's like, what did you do? And she's just doing it to be petty.
Yeah, and this is an example of your partner, they don't love you if they can't empathize and see from your point of view. I'm on not like girl stuff and the stuff you're into, right? But I can empathize if I love you that it's important to you. So I won't do things that will piss you off and do things like that. So when women erase a guy's memory from his PlayStation or burn his PC or smash the monitor, and they think, relax, dude, it's just the monitor. It's like, okay, let me go in your wardrobe and burn all your clothes and throw all your shoes out. Can you see how you don't care about what I care? If you don't care about or appreciate what I care about, you don't love the person. You only see the relationship through your eyes.
Well, I think it's kind of good if people do these kind of things early on in the relationship, because it's almost like a present. Like, oh my God, thank you for showing me who you are.
Yeah.
And we've only been together for 7 months. And instead of me wasting my whole life or more years on you, I can now go and find another.
So within the first
nice
6
woman.
or 7 months, like you think things are all right, but she's a little bit tough to deal with. And then she deletes all the memory off your PlayStation because she was annoyed. And it's like, okay, no, I can't be with someone. Because imagine later when we move in together.
Yeah. And then you need to have the intelligence to recognize what it is that she's showing you and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, not make up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people make up, they exaggerate someone's forgetfulness or someone's fumbling through, or they've got a personality that's they don't mean to be mean. Like, for instance, I'm forgetful, and I've had exes say, well, you don't love me because you didn't remember this, or you didn't remember an anniversary, or you don't remember that my favorite color is purple or something, you know? It's like, I'm just forgetful. I forget my own shit. Sometimes people exaggerate what something means, but then there's other times where it's big and obvious like that. You burnt my clothes. You deleted all the memory off my PlayStation, and that's the one thing I'm into. That's the one thing I'm getting good at and building and spend all my time. And you just wiped it off the face of the earth and laughed, and you don't think it's anything. That actually says a lot. That you should look into.
Yeah. It's very scary behavior. It's very malicious. So you should get out of there right away if you see something like that, yeah.
But if she accidentally spilled coffee on the PlayStation and deleted everything, she's like, oh my God, you don't like, that's it, it's over.
No, of course not. If it's an accident, that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are crazy sometimes, man. It's scary.
Yeah, you might be sleeping and she might cut something off as well. You know, those kind of women are weird. And a lot of guys think a lot of those crazy women are good in bed, but I think that's the only thing they're good at because they're crazy hot. They're not sane and sensible to be with. They're like holding a hot potato. They're very hard to handle. And you've got to ask yourself, when you're alone, you like your life. You want someone where you feel the same way with them. I don't want to have my life that's tranquil, peaceful, makes sense. And then I've got a partner that's very different to my lifestyle. I'm a calm person, but she's a nut job.
Yeah, so I basically think if someone gives you an ultimatum, you should be like expecting it already. Then it's probably legit.
But if it comes out of nowhere?
Yeah, it's also really weird, by the way. That's what I meant with that. I think it's usually implicit. If someone just comes out and says, if you don't do this, I'm going to leave you, like a clear ultimatum, that's weird. Like, that's not what you do in relationships. Like, you talk about problems and you work on them together.
Especially if you didn't even know it existed, or you didn't even know it was a problem.
Yeah. Don't give her a hot potato, she'll throw it in your face.
Have we ever given or received an ultimatum ourselves?
Well, I've already said I never got an ultimatum, but that one example that I gave, that's like the closest thing to an ultimatum, but it wasn't an ultimatum. It was just normal relationship stuff and us being not being compatible. I've definitely never given an ultimatum. No.
I have, but again, they weren't ultimatums. They were more like we discussed. I'm always talking about them, and they're wearing me down, and it's causing distance between us, and then I break up.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I've done that too, but that's not
An ultimatum. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking it very literally, like saying to someone, "I want you to do this, or I'll leave." You know, like even with that example of the guy that didn't show me affection, I never gave him an ultimatum. It just happens naturally. Like you just talk about it. Like he agreed that, like, yes, I need to work on this, and then like there's no progress, and then we both kind of decided, okay, let's just break up.
And then actually, it does create distance between you.
Yeah, obviously.
Over time. It's not like the first time you talk about it, you don't see effort right away and you break up. It's
No.
Yeah, I've had that a few times with myself. I remember one girl, she really liked me, but I think I was dating her for, it could have been like 3 to 5 months. And every time we caught up out somewhere for a coffee or at her place. But she could never be bothered coming to my place.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And after a while, like, I just took it as, okay, fine. We're still in this initial phase, but I don't feel us getting closer because you're not making any effort. And then while we're dating, I'm like, well, we're still dating. It's not serious. But then the next thing was like, well, I want you to meet my parents. And I'm like, what? Like, we're not there yet. And she got and then we broke it off. And she couldn't understand why. And I didn't want to be petty at the end. It's like, well, you'd never come to my place. Let me count all these things that you're not. It's like, I tell you all the things that I'm bothered by, and why don't you come here? And you keep rejecting me and not giving me the things that you're not meeting me halfway. And slowly we created distance. And then she was really shocked and she wanted to change and everything. I was like, but I was already out because I was still in that initial phase. We hadn't even bonded. And so to me, it's just some people, I don't know.
Scott Adams. Do you know who that is?
Yeah. I've got a book on his as well. He's the guy who did Dilbert, the comic book strip. He's a smart guy as well. I guess we're listening to Scott Adams' podcast, Or Else. Yeah. Like you have to be into what I'm into or else. That'd be dumb. We're watching Pretty Woman or it's over. Yeah, and I've obviously been given a couple of ultimatums myself. And I think the consensus is they're silly. You shouldn't give them. You should talk about them beforehand. They should be a build-up towards a resolution, or you shouldn't give them or receive them because they're an indication that you're not doing or saying the things you should say, and you just pop. There's a lot of silence, and one person just, in a cowardly way, gives an ultimatum because they want out. Because ultimatums are almost like, I've got 1 foot out the door, and I'm letting you know. Don't you think?
They can be. Not always, I think. Like, because I love you, obviously. And if you started doing something really bad, and I told you, look, I give you an ultimatum, basically, I don't have a foot out the door because I still love you and I want to make it work. Like, I'm still in this 100%, but like, if you won't change.
Yeah, our life is going down a direction that's like completely not what I signed up for.
Yeah. And that's where people always also have to be a bit selfish, I guess, because if you're going into a direction where your life is going to go down the drain and you're dragging me down with you, you have to be a little bit selfish and recognize that and say, look, I'm here for you, but if you don't like change this, and I'm talking about really extreme cases, right? Like if you turn into an alcoholic or something, or
or couples where, yeah, like I said, the woman and the guy got together where she really wants a family, and he just says whatever she wants to hear just so he can be with her, and he had no intention of marrying or having kids or whatever.
Well, what if I suddenly flip in a few months and I'm like, I want a kid? And if you don't want a kid with me, then I'll leave or whatever. Or I just say I want a kid and then you're like, well, I don't. And then it just causes shit to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if it comes out of nowhere like that, an ultimatum, when it's blackmail, no one likes to be blackmailed. And that's what it is. I'm blackmailing you. Do what I say. Otherwise, I just want what I want. And I don't care about you. I just want this. And if you won't, I'll find it somewhere else. Or I'm just going to take it from you. I'm having this kid, whether I'm pregnant.
Yeah, I guess women can do that, yeah.
It's not even an ultimatum. It's like, I'm sorry, you don't even have a choice. An ultimatum is, at least it implies a choice. I want you to do what I want, otherwise I'm leaving. And you either do what they want or it breaks up. But if someone's like, yeah, you're not even getting an ultimatum, I'm just doing what I want.
Yeah.
And in what scenario could we see ourselves giving each other an ultimatum? Well, we just discussed that. Where I think where the other person completely changes who they are.
Yeah, can you think of a specific thing with me?
Well, yeah, if you wanted a kid now. Not that it would, because we both like our lives. Our whole lives would need to be changed. We'd need to work differently. We wouldn't have the same relationship. All the focus would be on the kid. But yeah, I think it would be where you would really change your character and your values, and you wanted completely different things, where our life, the way it is now, would change, where it wouldn't look anything like our lives, and I wouldn't have any say in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically some sort of unfair blackmail, or your character changed in such a big way that it's not the person that I love. It's very hard to love you. If you change to be someone that I don't love, I can't just love you because you got that label. You change into someone else, technically you're still my wife, and there's nothing I can do or say. We can't talk about it. And it's like, sorry, you either follow me or it's over. That's very difficult.
Yeah. I don't know, it's tricky. I think ultimatums are the best when both parties can agree that the ultimatum makes sense. But if the person receiving the ultimatum is like, doesn't agree or is surprised or is offended, then it doesn't go well.
Yeah, it's different if like, oh, babe, you got to work on this. You and the other person's like, I know. They know that they're dropping the ball. But if it's out of nowhere, an ultimatum's stupid. Because it is blackmail. That's
We marry on the first date or else.
Yeah, that's a green flag.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyone else on the stream have their examples? Don't make them up, but have you had any, or do you know anyone who's had a ridiculous one? Because I think a lot of people as well, that they accept ultimatums, soft or big ones, and they stay, and they can always play it off as I was the good guy. You know, they wanted kids, so what do? She wanted a big house, so what do?
Yeah, I think it's also kind of dangerous sometimes, because sometimes ultimatums are also about compromise. You know, for example, if you've got an introverted and extroverted person, and the extroverted person is like, look, I'm like this, I want to do these things. And they basically give the other person an ultimatum, like, I want to be with this kind of person. And then the introvert kind of tries to be a bit more social or whatever. Like, I don't think that's good. Then you're going to resent the other person probably.
Depends how much, if it's a reasonable compromise, like if you know that something like you can improve in a certain area, or something's important to your partner that you love, and you're not even trying a little bit, then I think, like if you know you could be better in something and it's very, very important to your partner and you won't even try a little bit because you're stubborn, then that's not good. But at least if you're trying to the degree that you can, and that you see that you could improve and it would make your life easier, it would improve yourself as well. But if it's just you're lazy and you're stubborn, and you're just saying, I am the way I am, fine, but then you're also responsible for the relationship getting worse and worse and maybe breaking up. If you won't put in any effort. Bottom line is you can't just keep it all in. You have to talk with your partner, and you have to reasonably compromise.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of compromise in general. No.
Well, don't you agree that you can live the way you want to live when you're on your own? You meet someone else that you're compatible with. You're not going to be 100% like mirror images of each other. There's obviously going to be like, well, Bobby, for instance, me, Bobby likes this and Bobby needs this of me. I don't usually need to make an effort here. I will because I love him. I'll put in a bit of an effort where he's happy enough, and it's reasonable that I put in a bit of effort. But if you just want to, you can't just be an individual single person that just does what they want. They're completely selfish and they don't want to put in effort.
No, but I mean, I get compromise when one person is really sloppy around the house and then your partner's like, look, I want you to like be a bit more, clean a bit more, be a bit more tidy or whatever. And then that person can try to improve, even though they wouldn't if they lived alone, for example. Like that makes sense to me. But I don't really like compromise where the partner does stuff and then they want the other partner to join. Because to me, it's like, you could do that on your own. Like, why are you forcing the other person to do that if they don't want
if
to?
they want you to be a different person. Yeah.
Yeah, like if one partner is like really into sports or whatever, and they always want the partner to come with them, but the partner doesn't give a crap about sports. Like, I love you, but like, I'm not into this. Just go with your friends or whatever. Like, that's what I don't like.
What about if it's like, I'll come once in a while for an important game. I want your support to come, you know?
Yeah, sure, that's reasonable.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But if you're like, no, I told you I'm not into it, so under no circumstance, I'm never coming to any game because I don't like sports. I think that's unreasonable. But I agree with you that you can't demand that the person like it the way you like it and turn up all the time. Otherwise, you're going to give them shit. You know, like you said, they should be able to enjoy the sport because they're into it with their friends or whatever. Every once in a while, when you really want them for a special occasion or something, they should come, even if they're not into it. But
yeah, like if I am a ballet dancer and I have like a show every week, I'm not going to expect you to want to come watch me every week.
Or me to come training every night.
Yeah. Like, obviously, you're not going to be into that, duh.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I think coming for special occasions is reasonable. But I don't agree with being completely selfish where it's like, no, under no circumstance, I'm not into it, so I shouldn't have to be there. Because then the other person just like, well, okay, you're going to be like that. I'm going to be like that too. I'm never going to do anything you want.
It's funny how you always have that reaction.
Yeah, I'm big on fairness. Like I'm big on reasonable and being fair.
Yeah, but I say that because I wouldn't even go there. If my partner is doing something that to me kind of shows me that he doesn't give a fuck, basically, my instinct is to, okay, step away. Maybe we need space, or maybe we're not good for each other. My instinct would never be to retaliate. That's what I mean.
Mine is like, I'm telling the person, this is important to me. Can you come to this basketball game? Like, say I get into the finals and like, no, I don't give a shit about that. I don't care about anything you care about. I just care about what I care about. And you won't even come for the things that are important to me to be my partner, to show support. Then I'm like, okay, then you don't care about anything I care. Then I'm going to be fair, not retaliate. It's not like I'm going to show you. It's like next time you want me to do something that I don't care about, but I just do it because I care about you. I want to do it for you because I love you, and, you know, I'm not going to do it as well. And then you're just going to start to create a distance. So it's not about retaliation. It's about being fair and being reasonable. I don't want to be putting in so much effort in a relationship, especially with things I know, you know, you empathize with your partner. It's important for her. So obviously I'm going to say yes to doing things for her, even though I don't have any interest. Not everything. I can't do it all the time. Like you said, you're into reading romance novels or doing certain things. I'm not just going to pretend to always like doing it if I don't. I'll come when it's important, when it means something to you, when you need me there, when you need me. But also, if you just see that, well, she's never doing anything for me when it's important for me, she doesn't care, well, I can't just be giving all the time. I've got to pull it back as well, because I feel like I'm being used, and she's just living this relationship through her eyes, not through, being reasonable with each other.
Yeah.
You see it as retaliation. I just see it as like having boundaries up where, okay, this is ridiculous now. They won't do anything that I
think I see retaliation as something very childish and something very toxic. And you don't even need to get to that step, I think. You would just talk about it until you get to some kind of solution. And as long as there's no solution, there's a problem there that needs to be fixed and addressed. But like I don't even go to retaliation.
I see retaliation more as like I'm doing something. I'm just like, well, I'm taking my hands off as well.
Yeah, but you don't get that right in a relationship because you are in a relationship with someone. That's how I see it.
Yeah, but I see it the same as when the person just doesn't want to do anything that's reasonable. It's like they're being childish too. You're not being an adult.
Sure, but so there's a problem, so you address it, and you try to fix it. And you try to fix it until it's fixed, or you go your separate ways.
What I'm saying is I'm trying to imagine an example, like you try and talk to the person, because like with you, I tell you about what's important to me, and you know what's important to me and you make an effort. But say you're with someone, they're like, yeah, but I don't care. I don't like that. And I'm just not going to do it ever. I'm never going to come to your basketball game. And you're like, no matter, like, okay, so you don't care what's important to me. I'm talking to you. I'm letting you know that, okay, babe, you don't need to come to every basketball game. You don't need to come to every, you don't have to pretend to love it like I love it. But every once in a while, when I want you there as my wife to support me on an occasion, on something that's like a social event where everyone else has their partners and whatever, you just don't want to have anything to do with me. You want to have you basically want your single life to remain. Then I'll be like, well, okay, then when you have something important that you want me to do, it's just, I'm just going to take my hands off the steering wheel as well. I'm not going to put in effort. I'm not doing something against you. Yeah,
but that's what I mean. Like as soon as you retaliate, now what are we doing?
No, but I'm just seeing it as like, I can't keep trying to love you when you don't love me. Because love is action. It's not just, you don't just love the person because you do what you want to do when you were single and they just say yes. It's sometimes you have to give. That's not exactly what you would want to be interested in anyway, but you just do it because you care about the person. So it's not, I don't see it as retaliation. I see it as fairness. Maybe it's a guy thing because guys are always giving effort to women. Women only give effort later. Like guys always have to take them out, ask them out, be funny. Like you put in a lot of effort and then you wait for it to come back. A lot of guys just keep putting in effort and nothing ever comes back. And we feel used. And that's why a lot of guys have to kind of put up boundaries, not just to give too much, and to recognize when you're deferring and you're compromising and you're trying to say yes, but the other person never says yes to you.
I think it has to do with me never wanting to be in a bullshit relationship and waste time. Because like if you wouldn't want to do something with me that was very important to me, my reaction would never be, okay, then I'm not going to do this thing with you that's very important to you. Because if I do that, then I'm furthering the toxicity of our relationship. My response to that would be to talk about what's happening and try to fix it.
Yeah, but I'm giving a scenario where you and I obviously talk about everything that's important to us, like, and we meet each other halfway. But I'm talking about hypothetically, you're with a partner, and the partner I'm with, I'm telling them, this is important to me. Come to the basketball game. It's the finals. Like, I really want you there. It's like, no, I don't care. Like, go on your own. I don't give a shit about basketball. But it's important to me. I don't care. I'm not coming. So I'm letting you know, and you don't care at all. Not you, but she doesn't care at all. That she doesn't want to do anything nice for me. And so that tells me that you don't care. So I'm going to stop caring as well. So it's not retaliate, but it's kind of, then it shows me that you don't care. Then what am I doing here? Are we going to break up, or are we going to try and, so it's not like I'm not going to give an ultimatum to her, but I will talk about it. So it's not an example between you and I, but it's an example because I've had girls like that, and I've been like that when I was younger as well, where it's just, yeah, well, I don't want to do that chick shit. I'm not going to buy flowers. I'm not taking her out to dinner. I'm not into that. I'm a guy. You need to, this is important to her. You need to do this one little thing and they're good for a week. Stop having an ego and pride and all of that you just do one little thing and your relationship is golden and you just don't want to do it because you're stubborn. It's like, I've been there, and it's like, if you're just going to be that stubborn and single-minded, be on your own. I wouldn't be as petty like I was when I was younger, but as I got older, I didn't play that well. You're going to do that, I'm going to treat you like shit. You're going to treat me like shit, I'll treat you like shit. But I'll always talk about it. But if talking does nothing, and I'm just aware that I'm being used as a doormat, then I'm not going to be there anymore. The person doesn't care about reasonably modifying their behavior and considering me, and I'm always considering them, and they don't want to consider me, then like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it has two sides. On the other hand, I also think like if I'm into ballet and I know that you absolutely hate ballet, then I'm not gonna ask you to come watch me do ballet because I know you hate it.
But what if you were like, you had a show, like a big show you were practicing all year for, and it's your big show and everyone's going to be there, other people's partners, and you would really like me to come and support, not because you want me to like ballet, but because I love you and you want me there to watch the show. And I'm like, nah, sorry, I don't do ballet.
Well, that's probably not what you would say, but...
That's what but again, it's not you and me, but I've seen those scenarios. I see guys online. I've been there when I was younger, when you're stubborn and you have this ideal position and you won't even do a little bit for the person you say you love and everything will be fine. You've got your ideal standards. No, that's not me. I don't do this. Not even for this person that you love. You won't do it. No. Okay. Then you'll get the results of the bullshit. Then you'll get a fight. Then you'll get distance. If you just did that little thing, you little 5-year-old, if you did that little thing, if you tried, things would be better. And the person sees that you try. They can see you don't like basketball, but you came to the game and you were there. And they love that you tried. But you don't even want to try. Okay. Okay, you little child. Like, get the results of a shitty relationship and an eventual breakup, and you look back and you go, yeah, I was an idiot. Too late. You broke up because you were a child.
Yeah, I think we're getting a bit too personal, maybe.
All right. No, we didn't say anything personal. I like giving examples often. I can talk about people in my past or hypotheticals, but you're very personal. You think I'm talking about you?
Yeah. I'll leave it there.
All right. Any other comments on ultimatums? We didn't get many comments. I think we were just blabbing the whole time.
Yeah, we were like off on our own conversation.
Yeah, this is the way we talk. We get kind of deep in, so sorry if we ignored you. All right, we've been going for just over an hour, so we can probably wrap it up. Unless there's any further comments. I think we've got a 20 to 30 second delay. And then if there's any last comments, we'll read them out. And next week we'll do the one probably about wasting time with the wrong people. All right.
Do you want to do rapid fire or no?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let's where's rapid? Where are we?
Down, down, down.
Okay. Oh, we did that one, didn't we?
Oh, yeah.
Did we do that?
Yeah, those 5 we did.
Okay. All right. Next one. Go.
Who does most of the grocery shopping? Well, we always go together, but also sometimes you get groceries on your own.
Yeah.
Like when you go home from work or in between work or whatever. So you, because I never do groceries alone because I don't drive. So you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually me, a bit more. I actually really like. There's something about going to the supermarket that I really like. I don't know if it's a hunter-gatherer thing, but I really find it fun.
Yeah.
If they could live anywhere, where would it be?
Bonaire. I would love to move to Bonaire.
Aside from here, like I would want to live in Australia. Like if in the future we'd probably get a bigger house. But if it was in Australia, I would probably stay Holland. Yeah, I really liked Holland when I came to see you there. They're really nice.
Yeah, I love the Caribbean weather.
Who's the bigger procrastinator?
Oh, God.
I think I am. You procrastinate less. You get things done. You're very good at planning and putting things into place and
I love planning. Yeah.
like going in a straight line. So I think Stephanie's better at that. I'm the bigger procrastinator. What's their least favorite household chore?
Cleaning.
Like vacuuming?
Oh, no. I know what it is. Cleaning the oven.
Ah, yeah.
That's my least favorite one. I don't do that nearly enough.
Yeah.
I hate that. Yeah.
My least favorite is gardening
Yeah.
and mowing and stuff. And that's huge. And it always happens. I can't get away from it. Who would be the first to survive a zombie apocalypse?
You probably, just because you're a man.
Yeah.
You know what I would do if there was a zombie apocalypse? I would just hide somewhere. I feel like that's what I would do. Like if they're literally everywhere, like killing people, right?
Yeah,
I would just sit somewhere in a corner in a small room and just like wait it out. If I starve and die, that's fine. I would rather do that than like go outside.
Yeah, I would be on the roof with a bow and arrow and just be like
Where'd you get the bow and arrow from?
I don't know. Where'd the zombies come from?
Oh, God.
All right.
You want to do some more?
Do you?
Let's do 5 more.
All right, go.
Who's better with directions? You. I never know where I am. I am the most horrible person when it comes to directions.
But that's typically a female deficiency. The women.
Deficiency.
Well, it is. Like you're not great at it.
Bye, Luke.
An Achilles heel. See you, Luke.
Yeah, that's true what Karu says. Sometimes ultimatums can be good for a person. Like in the alcohol situation, it's good, I guess.
Yeah. Especially if it may come off as an ultimatum, but if you meet someone and they tell you right away about a deficiency or something they don't like that you're doing and, hey, cut it out, this isn't going to be good for us going forward. It may seem like an ultimatum, but they're just voicing it for the first time. That could be a good thing. But I don't think it's good to keep it silent and be a good person and then just blow up later.
Who's better, babe? I've never sewn in my life, if that's true.
Probably me, because I've mended things with like a needle and thread in the past.
I wouldn't even bother, man. I would just buy something new or bring it to a store. Like my skirt. It needs a new zipper. Yeah, that's not sewing, I guess, but I would just buy something new or have someone fix it for me.
I suppose there's guy things too, like fixing cars. Like I know a little bit, but I always take my car to a mechanic and stuff, whereas there's guys that can really fix it. And there's female things like cooking and sewing and stuff. Some women are naturally drawn to it or have skills, but
yeah, not me.
no, not you. So, but I'm better with directions. I've got this really good visual ability that I've had since I was very, very young, and I assumed everyone had it, but they don't. I can zoom out and have a bird's eye view, and if I go to someone's house through the neighborhood, I can find my way out very easily because as I go through the streets, I build a map and I can see myself from the air like a bird, and I just follow it. I look at from a bird's eye view, like, you know, The Crow, that movie, like the crow's actually leading you back along the path. I can visualize that pretty easily, and I thought everyone did until when I was a teenager, someone said like, "No, that's freaky. Like that's weird that you can do that." I thought everyone can do that.
No, I can't. Cora has a good question.
We're both gluttons, but you like worse food than I do.
I think I'm probably worse. Like when I have my cheat days and stuff.
Yeah, probably.
And I also eat worse food.
And you take big gulps. Like I can enjoy something and savor it.
Oh,
and
that's
I can
torture.
just keep eating until I'm full and I feel gluttonous. But you just kind of go from 0 to 100 and...
Yeah, well, imagine having a Ben & Jerry's tub with like a tiny spoon. You'll go crazy. I'll go crazy.
I love that.
No, I need like a big spoon.
Make it last. Just pick at it. And
You don't have to make it last. You can eat anything you want that day. So just enjoy it.
What's their favorite song to sing to in the shower?
I never sing in the shower.
Me neither.
No.
I never. The music I like usually doesn't have any lyrics, so I like music scores, EDM, techno, elevator music. So my music really doesn't have any lyrics, so I don't sing to any.
Yeah, I don't really sing like just like that. I hum to music or I sing with music sometimes, but not like just randomly, I don't think. At least not often.
And you
At
have
all.
a good voice as well, but you don't sing.
Well, I used to have a really good voice when I was younger.
No, but I've heard you like singing little things.
Yeah.
You have a nice voice. Who's more likely to bring home a stray animal?
Well, neither, but if we have to pick one, probably me, maybe. Or you don't think so?
I don't know. It's a tough one.
Well, I would never bring home a stray.
But yeah, probably you. You like cute things and...
Yeah, like if we had to pick, probably me,
Yeah.
maybe. But
Very
I would
unlikely either of us, but if we had to pick one, probably you. What's their favorite comfort food? Oh, here's a question for you.
Yeah, interesting question. Like right now, or when we were eating unhealthily.
Right now, what's your favorite food?
Right now, I love my chicken avocado bowl.
Comfort food. Comfort food, yeah.
Yeah, but I only eat like healthy bowls now.
Yeah.
Now that I'm dieting really well.
Mine's probably pasta.
Yeah, pasta.
The last week, I've kind of gone off pasta because I've made it like 2 in a row that were pretty... I didn't enjoy them. But pasta's probably my favorite comfort food. Who's more likely to talk their way out of a speeding ticket?
Not me.
Neither one of us, I think. Like,
I don't even drive, first of all. But, well, it depends. If I get any kind of ticket or whatever and I feel like it's not right or I didn't do anything wrong, then I'll speak up. But if I know that I deserve it, then I'll just pay. Like,
yeah, neither one of us gaslights or tries to manipulate to get out of something. I've never had luck in getting out of fines. Like, when I've sped, I always thought, oh, well, I'll get a ticket. I'm pretty sure I got booked or something, and it always happens. I never get... My dad used to always get off for some reason. He was very social. He used to talk with people really well, and he was friendly, had a very warm personality. Me, I just get what I expect. I never get... I can never talk my way out of anything. I don't talk my way out of things to manipulate. I can talk well and communicate, but if I've sped... I'm not going to lie and like, oh, try and get out of it, because I've gotten a speeding ticket, and the police books me, and I'll be like, yeah, I know. I kind of smile as like, yeah, you got me. I was speeding, but I'm not kind of try and manipulate my way out of it. And you as well. You're a very direct person. Well, did I do something wrong? Yes, I did something wrong. So I'm not going to try and get out of it. I'll pay the fine.
yeah.
So I don't think either of us really.
I just want to keep going with the questions. They're fun.
You're gonna...
How long have we been going? Hour and a half. Yeah, no. The questions... We should have just done the questions this whole stream, because we got very serious today.
Yeah, but we're serious because it was an interesting topic. Relax,
yeah,
babe.
that's true.
You're just worried because people are watch the private moment. No human eating like a prissy. Yeah.
Well, he eats nicer than I do, probably.
I also like making huge bowls of fruit salad.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been eating so well lately.
All right. If we go down the list, babe, let's keep some for next time.
I know.
All right. We're going to go and enjoy the rest of the day.
Who picks the coffee beans? We just buy coffee. What do you mean?
But I think I kind of pick the ones and you have similar tastes, unless you really like something different. So I think, yeah, we both like the same coffee pods.
Yeah.
But in terms of like those, I call them
Sachets.
the sachets, you've got your favorites and I've got different ones. So I like vanilla latte and you like hazelnut.
Hazelnut, yeah.
So, yeah, we've got slightly different tastes. And she tends to eat more unhealthy than me. And by unhealthy, it's more like
I used to.
condiments. Like you love sauces and a lot of that. I like less.
Yeah, I like a lot of sauce.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Like, for instance, pasta. It might as well be like soup or goulash with a bit of pasta in it. You just like it very saucy.
Yeah.
Whereas I like the opposite. I like mainly pasta with light coating of the sauce. I want to taste the pasta.
Yeah, I don't get that. No.
And when I make club sandwiches, I will put a light thing of mayo or jam or whatever condiment. You just like slop it on.
Yeah.
Like burgers, you'll have a burger where it's dripping down your hand. And I hate that.
Especially Big Macs. A lot of Big Mac sauce.
No. I want it all to be intact. I don't want it spilling over the edge. I don't want it sloppy. I want it neat.
I don't like it dry. When it's like dry pasta, dry burger.
No, not dry, but just enough that it's
But it just tastes so much better with more sauce.
But then you just taste all the sauce. Like
Yeah.
I want to taste the burnt meat, you know?
Lubrication is good. We don't need that, Karu.
You need too much, babe.
Oh, in my food, yeah. I was talking about something else.
Enjoy the rest of the day, everyone. Yeah, good stream.
I'm glad you enjoyed the stream, even though I think we were maybe a little serious.
We're passionate, babe.
Yeah, that's true. That's like how we get into conversation sometimes. We get so like...
Yeah, but the nice thing
it.
is like you're kind of honest, you're direct when things affect you. You don't hide it. You don't pretend that like, oh, it's nothing. Like if you're not in a good mood, you show it. If you're in a good mood, you show it. So I trust what I see and like who you are. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you don't gaslight. All right. I think we're done.
It's warm.
Yeah. Have a good rest of the week. We'll see you next week probably. And goodbye to everyone.
Bye.
Bye.